Hey guys, welcome back to the Single Malt Review. We are Tim and Dave, and just like whiskey itself, our opinion is finely distilled, aged for many, many years, and then given away for free. Oh dear, we've really biffed it on that last one, but never mind. Oh, I've destroyed the set already, but we didn't need that anymore. That was mostly for the Instagram. This is, what is it, Dave?
Well, we look at the time on my imaginary watch. It is bourbon o'clock. And it must be time for a brand new bourbon we've never tried before. This is Michter's US #1 Kentucky Straight Bourbon.
Michter's, which I have just given a very scant, very cursory look up on the internet. And just like many bourbons, it's very, very hard to find out where it actually comes from. But if my sleuthing was in any way accurate, is the wax going to quaff? Yes, it is. Mostly. This is one of the really quite few bourbons made in its own distillery, as of 2014, if the information can be believed. So that makes this a bit more unique than a lot of the bourbon we try here, which is sort of, mass-produced in one of really only a handful of mega distilleries, real Judge Dredd style, vast Leviathan distilleries, Bardstown. That sort of scale, and then divided into the plethora of brands that you see on the shelves. This one is just, Michter's, and it comes out of jolly well Michter's. So we're in Louisville, and unless this is an astonishingly old sample, this should be their own juice, so to speak. So we'll expect big and individual things from this one.
So the US one is 45.7 ABV, which is 91.4 proof.
Good proof, no mucking around. Lovely colour.
It does. That's very
colour.
pretty. That's like a dark copper, almost a little hint of like pinkish, reddish blush in there. Like it.
And oh boy, okay.
Oh wow.
We might be onto a good one. This is a hell of a nose.
It's abundantly sweet up front. Oh, it's dripping of caramel and
holy moly.
originals and
This is
butterscotch and custard. Wow.
This is your turbo maple syrup, popcorn.
Maple syrup. That's the one.
Yeah, man. We are getting into some traditional bourbon pungency here, and that's what I love to see.
Nosy notes, kindly provided
what
by
are they? What are they?
Dram in the set. On the nose, an initially sweet opening with maple syrup covered pancakes,
Good.
glacé cherries, almonds, and apple juice. There's a suggestion of cinnamon too.
Almonds, sure. Apple juice, cinnamon, sure. Cinnamon's in every bourbon nose. I don't know what are they talking about. Suggestion. Anyway, whatever. Not their best, not their worst tasting notes. Not by a long shot. So, this one, I should say, obviously brought to us not by Michter's, but by Drinks by the Dram, who are very convenient for people that want to taste a lot of things and not end up with a truckload of bottles and crippling debt. Yeah. So, cheers again to the people there at Drinks by the Dram for doing the Lord's work and bringing small quantities of spirit to the people. So, on the palate.
Oh, that is... At first it's tame. There's very little heat or prickle or punch to the palate. What has got, though, is a lot of delicate and quite subtle flavours. Thinking through that, there's definitely apple. There's some spice, good bit of wood, but not a smoky, charred kind of what would clink of a classically bourbon barrel.
Yeah. There's a lot more. There's a good bit of oak tannin in this, and it's quite hard oak tannin. I was expecting, given the nose, given how absolutely lush the nose is, I was expecting a sweeter palate.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be downright syrupy, but no,
it's not as sweet as you might think. It's pretty
restrained. It's really aiming to be delicate and nuanced, not just upfront and pugnacious.
Yeah, restrained, yes, but also concentrated. Yes, it has the force which I am a firm advocate that bourbon needs. The more that you take bourbon's strength away, the more you take its soul away, I think. Delicate, lilting, ethereal, Scotch whiskies, brandies even, tequilas, whatever you like. You can do lighter versions of those. You do a light-bodied, easy-going bourbon, and what have you got? You need a rootin', tootin' bourbon. That's what I want. That's what bourbon wants to be. I think it's just that kind of spirit. It needs the force. You need with all, you don't want a plucked bourbon, a shaved bourbon. You want to see that. You want all the trimmings.
Well, the tasting notes, just the palate, should be warming spices filling the mouth, followed by caramel and more of those apple notes.
Okay.
I definitely got a good hit of apple.
I'll give them, there is apple on the palate. Nose, I don't know. On the palate though, bit of apple.
So and finish, It's long and warm, and you've got buttery popcorn and just a touch of vanilla. Yeah, warm, that would describe it. There's not really any heat or prickle, despite the not insignificant proof on this bourbon. So it is warming, but not hot, not spicy.
There's a teensy ding I have for it. It tastes a little young. I think in the finish it reveals there's not just a youthfulness, but there's a little bit of juvenility to this whiskey. There's a bit of immaturity, which really only reveals itself once the palate begins to subside, and it certainly doesn't come through in the aroma, which I think is still just fantastic aroma on this bourbon.
There's a sweet, syrupy heft to that nose, which is not present on the palate. It's almost like two different whiskies when you're smelling it versus when you're tasting it. Which is, hey, it's good to be surprised sometimes.
It is. All right, so I think it's time for chapter marker, the last word on this bourbon, and I really kind of like it. This is one of the most it's just an excellent nose on this. If we're doing noses only, if we were people with noses and not mouths, and we just sniffed all our food to get sustenance, wouldn't that be a cheap existence?
The mayfly experience.
Your whiskey would last for a very long time. Anyway, profoundly excellent nose on it. It doesn't quite keep up in the body, and then it does start to lose a bit of itself in the finish. However, and again, this is price agnostic. This might just be laughably expensive, and of course it is, but who knows? So I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt there that it is a reasonably priced whiskey, as we hope everything is. I think this is really, really pretty good stuff, and it really does elevate itself over the mid-shelf of otherwise good quality bourbons. For me, it's always Wild Turkey. Is it better than Wild Turkey? Is it worse than Wild Turkey? Because damn it, if it's worse than Wild Turkey, why am I buying it? Because I could just have a litre of really good quality whiskey at a reasonable proof for just bugger all money, and I don't even have to think about it. Wild Turkey's just that good as a flagstaff for where bourbon sort of begins and ends. This one's better than that. It has risen significantly above that, and scores for me, I'm very, very comfortable giving this an 88. Wow, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm in a very similar ballpark. This is a curious and eyebrow-raising whiskey, but in all good ways. It has a unique nose and a unique palate. They don't necessarily align with each other, but they're still each good in their own way. And it's good to see something from an own distillery rather than distilling out of one of the gargantuan industrial behemoth distilleries. And I'm happy to rate it an 89.
There you go.
It's tasty, it's fulfilling, it is curious and different too, which really helps to stand out.
Yeah.
It's not mind-blowing, it's not a transformative experience, but it is good. And honestly, that's what we're looking for in life, really.
Yeah. No, can't get transformed every day. What an existence. Anyway, that has been the Single Malt Review with Michter's
US
Bourbon.
one.
So I hope you found that informative. We're going to be back with the last one in the box. It could be the Black Sheep, it could be the Quirk one. So we're going to see. So hold on to your seats for that one. We'll be right back. Sláinte.